You do not know why there is a massive statue of a pine cone in the middle of the Vatican instead of a statue of Jesus, and this video is going to blow your mind.
All right, let's see it. Oh, and by the way, that is the Fontana della Pina, and it's just a 1st century CE Roman artifact that has been preserved in an outdoor courtyard on the northern edge of the Vatican. It is not remotely in the middle of the Vatican, and it is not remotely a substitution for where we would expect a statue of Jesus to be. That's just made up.
Now, all throughout the Catholic religion, you will see pine cone symbolism. It's even here on the Pope's staff.
So that's not a pine cone, that's just the base of the cross. And the Pope has a number of different staffs, and none of them have pine cones on them.
And in many major churches all over the world, you'll see pine cone symbolism.
So this first image does not come from a major church in any way, shape, or form. It comes from a tiny little mortuary chapel in a tiny little town in Cumbria called Ray. And this chapel was built in the 19th century by a woman named Sarah Loesch, who built it to commemorate her family that she lost. She was not a trained architect. She was not a scholar of religion or symbolism or history in any way, shape, or form. She just liked the pine cone symbolism because to her it meant regeneration, fertility, rebirth, and this was a way to console herself after the loss of her family.
Here's another example.
So this is one of a handful of pine cones that are found in the Abbey of the Dormition in Jerusalem, where they are symbols of eternity, of rebirth, of fertility.
Now, where it gets really interesting is pine cones were a massive symbol all over our ancient past. You can see the Sumerian gods holding up pine cones. You can see it on the staff of Osiris. You can find them all over ancient artwork. Even the aliens be leaving us clues about the pine cone. Now, let me explain the real meaning behind the pine cone.
So there's simply no such thing as a real meaning behind a symbol. Symbols mean whatever people use them to mean.
First off, the vibrational frequency of 528 hertz takes shape in a pine cone. This is the love frequency and connected to the crown chakra. And beyond this, the pine cone actually represents our pineal gland, our third eye, pineal gland. This gland is quite literally the link between the inner and the outer worlds. And this is why they fluoridate the water. This is a calcified pineal gland. This is why everyone walks around like zombies.
So this is pure and utter nonsense. The pineal gland was given the name it was because it kind of looks like a pine cone. Neither of these images has anything to do with fluoride or with calcification. These are two images of pineal glands with lesions that were removed from rats that had been subjected to specific types of stress. And you can find the paper that these images come from here.
This is just another example of how the truth is always found in plain sight.
And yet you still manage to steer entirely clear of any truth and fill a video with pure and utter nonsense.